Hello everyone and welcome to this tutorial. I'm still just bringing this series because this didn't take so much time for me and I have a lot of things to fix for the Battle Royale and for my new multiplayer series, which will cover Steam and LAN. So when I'm ready in I guess 1 or 2 weeks we will continue with the other series. So and for now because this will not take so much time, we will do this tutorial series. Yeah, let's straight go ahead and open your PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds inventory project and step up to the third person character. And here was the last step we made in the last video, and we will continue now here. So we already did the item ref and the line trace. So what we would do next now is the inventory, because we need a place to store all the items we collect. So click on variable here and let's say inventory. And we pick, of course, our item data. I compile and save this. Sorry, before you compile and save, make an array, and then we compile and save it. So from now here, we can to simply get the whole things behind this, we will add after time more and more functionality to this system. So at first we will just say add an item. So what we do here is we make this function add item, and we get, of course, our inventory, and we just type an add. So this is a normal function of an array. And what we add here is we get the item ref, and we get data, because this has the variable item data from the master items, and we just plug it in here. And we can just say add item. And of course then we can also say destroy item. I don't know if this works here from this straight, but we can test it now. So this is why I make the series just from scratch. I just test everything out. And that's how you should also work with your code. So you can't know everything, you need to test anything. So let's play and let's hit F. And we hit it and it gets destroyed. So to debug test this, if it gets really destroyed, you can switch into your game while it's running, and you can actually press now Shift F1 to bring on the mouse and bring it here to the side. Now you can see there are Apple 1, Apple 2, Apple 3 and 4, and if we collect now this one, you can see it will be deleted, so it really gets removed from the game. So but it is in your inventory now. So we have some errors here, that's good. So we can now test or look into this. And we have a runtime error because there's no access in these items. So it tries to destroy something, but there is nothing to destroy. This comes from F. When we just simply hit something that is not an item, we will just go into this variable. And to actually prevent this error, we delete this, or we cut it, and we make a new function called destroy item. And what we do here is we get an isValid. And this is everything you need to have. So plug in the item ref here, and if it's a valid item, then we can destroy it. If it's not, we do nothing. So this will prevent now all the errors. So we have here now our simple add item, but we have no proof to actually say that we have really an inventory that contains item. And for this, I will just get the inventory and say for each here. And all the time we add an item, we just print out the name or something like this. So break it here. So we get the info of this arrays or of the items in this array. And then we print just the name out. So sorry, you always have to test if your code is valid and brings the the things to the game that you really want them to do. So if I add an object, I want to have it apple and weapon. So now it has apple apple and weapon, apple and apple, weapon, apple, apple. And as you can see, this grows here. So we are adding something to it that is not really in it. So yeah, there are also arrows. So let's check this. That's probably in the add. So we are adding here an item to it all the time, and this is not correct. We only want to add item if the line trace was correct. One thing that would help is just bringing the item ref here in, and if we are heading nothing, we want to set it to empty again, or to null. So now if we add an apple here, you can see there's still some space in it, but now you can see it brings out all these things correctly and displays the old time. But yeah, this works here. So another one, so add the add function. We could just say here only is valid, of course, inside the add function. So it's also prevented here. Only if the item data is valid, we want to add it to the inventory. So now if we hit it here, you can see there's no more this space inside the print string. And this is exactly how we want it to be. So now we can still or start working on the UMG to display our inventory, so we don't need to print all the time. So let's get to the event graph and delete this print string thing here. And let's bring in our folder structure and our UMG widget. So open this one up. So yeah, we can start working here on the actual PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds inventory, and we have here a left sidebar for the ground items and a middle section for the whole inventory. So let's make this sidebar first. We can here work with the canvas. I think this is okay, because most time I tend to use border or yeah, vertical box at the base widget and not the canvas, but we will now work with the base canvas panel. So we have here this one sized to yeah, I would say it's probably 500. It's a bit too much. 400. Yeah, this looks good. So there is this a vertical box 400, and we have another vertical box which is I would say to the full screen, but on the left it has 400. Let's say 420. Or isn't it even too less? No, I would say 420, and inside this we need another vertical box. So I show you what I mean. So here we have our inventory. Here's the ground, here's the right side, and we have this middle spacer here, which is yeah, I think border just in small. So we will make this one too, just size of 20, because here this one is 22, the difference, and position X is 400, so it's exactly in the middle. But I don't like how this is yeah, here structured, so I want to wrap this with a horizontal box, so everything is inside a horizontal box. So now we have here our horizontal box. We size this over the full screen. We have the middle one, the right one, and the last one. So let's get this one to fill, let's get this one to fill, and let's get this one to fill. So this will be everything on fill, but this is of course not the thing we want. So we want this one to be something like 0.2, this one something to be like 0.001, and this one to be 0.9. Or actually, this is not a good thing to do here with the number of the size here. Let's make another move here. We will just wrap this within size box, and the size box will be set to width override to 400. So this will be always 400, and this vertical box will be set to auto, and this one will be set to fill. So we have here this small difference in these three things. So this works a lot better, I think. So now let's make here our spacer. So we get this border, put it into the middle, and let's say fill, of course. It's a bit thick, I think. So we have here a size of this is 8 or something. So you can see here 400, and this is 408. So it's 8. You can say on the left 3, the right 3. Oh no, this is not correct. Let's say the border. Left on the left 3, and on the right 3. Also not working. Then let's go into the border padding, and here. Okay, we have here 4 and 4, of course. So let's say 2 and 2. There it is. So we can easily test this now. And yeah, this is still too big, I think. So we go here on our border and say 0.5 on the left and 0.5 on the right. And let's say 0.5 on top and 0.5 on bottom. This is better, I guess. But it looks like it's not going smaller anymore. Oh, okay, it is smaller. So yeah, this looks far better. So here you can see the other one. So yeah, okay, let's actually now make the color a bit grayer. So we have this, oh sorry, not the content color, back here and get to the brush color. It's a bit grayer like this. So yeah, the next thing is that this vertical box should have a padding at the bottom and at the top. I think this is a padding of 15 or 100. So let's test this. 15, now 100. Is it more? 100? Yeah. And on the bottom even more. It looks like 115 or something, but we will make this symmetry and we will use 100 here. And same goes for the slot here, for the size box, sorry. We make here a top of 100 and bottom of 100. And also this vertical box gets a top of 100 and a bottom of 100. Like this. So now if we test this, you can see this one is only here in the middle. But this gray is a bit too dark. So let's click again on our border here, on this color one. Let's bring a bit more white into it. But now let's get to the inventory. So yeah, we will work here inside this vertical box, and for the beginning we will just simply pick here a vertical box inside this vertical box. And yeah, for bringing this now to the left side, I wrap this again with an horizontal box. This horizontal box gets the full size, and this vertical box gets and wrap width. So we make a new parent, which is a size box now. So we have a width of, let's say, 315 for the inventories, or this is a bit too much. Let's say 215. Yeah, or a bit too less. We will experiment with these values later on. So I don't know now which is the best, but I think this will work. So, and of course we don't want to only use here the vertical box, we also want to have a scroll box, so the items can go to the bottom. And we make this fill here. Under the bar style, I don't know the correct bar style of PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, but it looks like here the bar is only in the middle. So I don't know, is this inventory going only to this point here, or is this inventory going to the bottom? I will yeah, look into this and then we will just change it. So for now I will just leave it as a full screen inventory, but we could simply say fill, but or say size of the size box only to the middle. So we override to 500 and the inventory will only last to this point and scroll then towards the bottom. So let's now just implement the showing of our items. For this, we want to have the size box with a good name, so item container or something, or item size box container, or whatever you prefer. Click on the is variable, go into the graph, delete the two others here, and let's start with the event construct. So every time we construct the inventory, we want to have a cast to the third person character from our get player character, and then we want to make a ref to these characters. So TP character ref, always say TPC ref, and yeah, that's how we construct it. And also what we want is to have a custom event, so which is called build inventory. So this one always builds our inventory, and we also call this on the first construct. And all the other times the build inventory will be called without the event construct. So for this we pull in our item container and we say we clear here. So clear. Okay, clear children. If we don't do this, we would stack our items up, so it will every time duplicate all the items. So this is very important for you here. And after this, we want to get our third person character, and we want to get our inventory. So inventory, there it is. And from here we want to create a for each loop, and we want to create from the loop body a new widget here. So this is a widget we didn't create it at first, so let's actually create this now. So here we have the arrow. Inside our UMG, I would just make a widget called item slot, and inside here we will delete the canvas and we make custom sized, and I think here was 215 the width, so we make the same width. We scroll in and 100 is okay, I think, and we add now a border to it. So we have a small background here. And this background is in PlayerUnknown battlegrounds. I think it's gray, something like this, and it's a bit blurry, or we can see through it. So it's 0.5, I think. So we use 0.5, of course, here. And yeah, let's work with this. So later on we will add the names here and all the stuff, but for now this will work. But don't forget to add here the item data that every slot is saving. So we have here item data, and this needs to be item data, but not an array. This needs to be a normal variable. So when we actually call this here, this function, we will plug in here the array. And one thing I forgot is to always say expose on spawn and then instance editable. So we when we select here the slot, it will expose here to the create slot. That's how we can plug in the item and then say promote to variable. We could do this, but we won't. We will say now add child, or this won't work here straight from this one. So we bring in the container and say add child, and then we connect this together and we compile and save this. So the first time this will work now. So let's test this, of course. Bring in some items in our inventory. Press I. You can see, oh, here something happened. And why is this so big? So there's some problem, sorry, going on with it. And I guess this is caused by the item slot. So we always need to have a size box applied to it at first, because when you go with this method to bring in item data, it will not take here the custom width and height. It will need a pre-built size. So we actually say here we have the width of 215 and the height of 100. So if we test this now, this should be a bit better. or not. So yeah, here's a small problem. I can't really tell where it is, so let's test it. Probably it would also be here inside my scroll box that I said here to fill. So I just say it to be auto and align to the top. And if I now add some items, yeah, it only shows here the one item. And now it should just say the one item. So, but it's stacking up here. So yeah, there are some things we need to search for, some bugs. Let's do this. And I think I already saw the problem here is that I named the item container here, the size box, the variable, which is not correct. So size box container is correct, but we need the scroll box to have the items. So let's say item scroll box here, and not the size box as the container. So what we did there was we deleted the vertical and the scroll box, so we had no scroll here. So, and what we do now here is just replace the 2 here with the item, and then compile and save, and then start this. So now we can just simply bring here the items in, and we open this, and as you can see, they're stacked up. And we can simply just bring in more of them here. Well, I think they will not show now, yeah, and as you can see, we're not adding here anymore, because what we did was saying that we just on the events construct build the inventory, but then no more. So we need to go to the third person character, and from the open inventory here we need to add our actual inventory reference. Pull out from it the build inventory function here, and let's bring it in here. Very simple. Click them both and copy and paste them and bring them in here too. So what this does now is all the time it will build the inventory from ground up new. So we're adding here 4 items, and you can see now we have 4 items, and if I add now more to it, we'll also have more of it. Can also add here this last one here, and it is added correctly. So what I would say now next would be to include here the height of 105 and say this one is still 100. Get to the border, say we need here a padding at the bottom of 5. So compile and save, play, test this, and now you can see the result. We have here a small size between the slots, but they are a bit too thick, so I think 80 is the correct one to work with. Or let's say 75, no, 80. Or 80, yeah, 80 is the size of the hole, and let's make this one 80 here. So this one is, the border is 74.5 and this whole thing is 80. Again, we can simply test this here, and yeah, it's a bit too thick I think, but we can live with it, I guess. Yeah. The next thing would be to add a small let's say a small padding on the left side for this hole, and not for the whole vertical box, but for the size box here at all. Should have on the left one something like 10. 10 is okay, or let's say 20, like this. So compile and save. And yeah, this looks more like PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. But here we need a bit longer slots. So the size of 215 is too less, so we pick here 300, And at least, and when we're also here at size, let's make this to our desktop screen size and save everything up. Don't forget to change here to 300 also. Compile and save. And let's bring in here the items. Yeah, this is much better. So we will have here now our slots. Here we will have the item preview, more slots, and the weapon slots. And I think this is quite good. So let's actually now remove our line trace. So let's go to the bottom here, go into the line trace and say none. Compile and save. And yeah. And actually we are already over the time here, but I will one last thing do fast. So I will just add here a horizontal box to the border, and inside this one we will have all our item data, but for now we will just bring in the text, and we will work on this in the next video, but I will just fast bring in the name in here, so to show you how it is done. So break this here and then just simply bring this in, and it should automatically get the names of everything. So like this. And yeah, here we have the names now. So yeah, that's everything for this tutorial, or for this part of the tutorial. Of course, we will do in the next video some editing, and maybe we'll also make the ground. I don't know yet with which topic I will start. But yeah, we will go through all of the steps of the PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds inventory system. So thanks for watching and have a nice day. Bye.